Hello, this is Amel Mehenaoui, and we are with SEO 2023 Additional Insights.
Amel, what's your additional insight for SEO in 2023?
Okay, so my additional insight is really specifically for e-commerce stores to optimize their images, their product images, to show up on the Google's AR feature on search results.
Right, okay. And I guess for SEOs that haven't looked into this so much, what is really Google's AR feature and where can users find it?
Yeah, okay. So the AR feature is really about augmented reality, and Google was testing a lot in the last few years, and since 2019, it actually they added it to the search engine result pages, mostly when you are on your mobile. And the way it works really is once you have an image, a product image on your website, and it's optimized for the augmented reality, and you have a 3D model, of your image. Then if you do you add actually the right tags, and you optimize it the right way, you can actually be featured on the Google AR. And the way it works really, it's when you're on your mobile, and you see there's an icon that actually adds Google adds near the image that shows that it's an AR. It looks like a cube, a 3D cube, and then when you click on it, so you can project the image of the product in your real life environment, which is amazing. So if you are, for example, if you are an e-commerce furniture store and you're selling office desks, for example, and you have a 3D model of your desk and your office desk, then and you add, as I said, a little bit of optimization using different tools, using schema markups and optimizing the metadata. And if your product is showing up on the search results, and someone looks at your office desk and then they click on that to view it in their, with AR, they will be able to project it, for example, in their office, and they can see how it looks like. So it's really a way that Google really wants to actually make user immersed in the digital world in a way, and make search more dynamic and interactive. So that's why they added this amazing feature. And so far, not a lot of e-commerce websites are taking advantage of it. So there is a lot of potential for e-commerce, with augmented reality.
Okay. So lots to dive into there. Firstly, what kind of reach is available through augmented reality listings like that? For instance, how do Google make the decision for your listing to actually appear? Is it keyword related, I presume? And does it give those listings greater prominence when they're
Yes.
available for certain searches?
Yes, yes, definitely. So really, as I said, Google main goal, and then for the last decade, is really to make sure that the user are using Google and staying longer on Google search results. And so this using, three model of your products, and it will give you the opportunity to show up in the image carousel when somebody is doing a search about your product. So as I said, I gave the example of an office desk. So someone is looking for an office desk, and your image is actually optimized for AR, and you have, as I said, the 3D model of the product. You will be prominently showing up on the AR feature. And it's actually an additional opportunity for Google to make people stay on Google, because from the search results, you will be projecting, the product in your real environment by staying on the search results. So by clicking on the image, as I said, the icon, the 3D cube icon, and projecting it. So, if it's a 3D image, you can actually see the 3D image. So it's going to be more and more prominent. And obviously, if you don't have it, then you will not show up. But if you already have the meta tags in place and adding specific elements in your HTML, then you will have more chances that Google will actually feature you in the AR
Right. Wow.
feature,
So
and
maybe
it
Google
gives
are
you more
trying to build their
visibility.
own. Yeah, maybe they're trying to build their own 3D version of Pinterest, where people can actually gather up collections of potential furniture to have in their home in the future. And it's all very well and good for Google to keep people on their SERP using their service longer. But do you have any data that indicates that people looking at these kinds of results are more likely to make a purchase?
That's a good point. I don't have the stats, but I know that big brands are currently using the augmented reality, and it really helps with conversion, because one thing it actually helps with is really making sure that the users, when they project the image in their environment, they're going to be happy with how it's going to look like. So you will have less returns, because usually what happens is, if you buy a product, you don't know how it's going to look like in your room or in your office, or in your space. Then you bring it home, you put it, and then you're like, oh no, it doesn't, it doesn't work. So you return it. But having 3D model using the AR, this actually helps you retain your customer. Okay, it helps really increase the conversion, because customer can see how the product will be in live, like space. And at the same time, because if, let's say, they're trying to match their decor to whatever furniture they're buying, then you will have less they will have less return. So that's really important. So big brands are using, as I said, the AR, which, for example, IKEA. So IKEA, they actually use it they have their products and 3D model images of their products, and this can help, as I said, like help the customers see and envision how it looks like in their environment, which is very important. So it's already being implemented by some of big brands. Obviously, I think the challenge is for small, let's say, small businesses, small e-commerce website that don't maybe have the team in place to help them make that happen. So right now, the best examples of brands who are using the 3D image, beside IKEA, you have Home Depot also, that are using it, and they are actually you can actually see Home Depot products on Google Search using what Google calls View in 3D. So that's the feature, as I told you, with the small icon feature. And also you have Wayfair, who also are using it. They have a feature. If you go to Wayfair, they call it View in Room, and then customer can see the furniture that they call whatever they are trying to purchase. They can use it in their see it, sorry, in their space. So yes, as I said, the concern is mostly for small businesses, small e-commerce, who don't know how to do that, so they're missing out.
So how does Google, or how do SEOs rather actually get their images crawled and indexed by Google? Is it as simple as actually incorporating these images on a web page and using certain markup code to indicate that these images occur? Is it perhaps an RSS feed, similar to product feeds, or something else?
Okay, so let's say in general, if you want to optimize, if you want your images to show up on the search results, obviously you have to optimize the images for SEO. So this is like not even talking about AR at this point. We're talking just regular images of your products. Okay, and then we will add the AR3 model component to it. So first of all, right now, as an e-commerce website, you have obviously to optimize your images. And in SEO, what we usually use, and to help the bot and the search engine understand that this is an image, and to explain what the image is about, we use metadata. So simply put, we use the we tell Google, we use schema markup, and we just describe the image to Google and tell Google, this is an image, this is the name of the image, this is we give a description and tell Google what's on that image. And we use the alt tag. So alt tag really is to actually, alt tag had like two it helps with accessibility. So for people who actually they can't see, so they hear what's on the screen. So if you use alt tag on the image, it will tell them what the image is about. So that's something that we use. And also, what's very important, it's the file name. The way you name the image file is important. You need, again, to tell Google what's this image is about. So you would use the keyword that describe that image, and you will name the file of that image. You will name the image with that keyword. Now, the way you could, let's say, if we take it like in a basic way, and try to explain it to an e-commerce manager, someone who doesn't know about SEO. The way you think about it is by naming your images with the description and the exact words that describe what's on that image. What you're doing is you're actually helping the algorithm when they are indexing these images. It's easy for them to retrieve the image that's relevant to whatever people are searching on the search engine. So let's go back to my office desk. So if you name your image office desk, let's say L-shaped office desk, because it's an L-shaped, for example, desk, and you add all the metadata information, what you're doing actually, you're making the bot for the bots, you're simplifying for the bots the way that they can retrieve this image. If someone goes to Google, and they search for L-shaped office desk, so the retrieval will be faster and it will be better because you're using the correct words. But if you name your image file image 321xz, what it means nothing, and if you're not using metadata to describe what's on that image, first of all, you're not helping, as I said, the accessibility part. So people who can't, see you, they listen to the text, then they can't know what's that image. All right, so we're not helping there. But at the same time, your image doesn't have the correct, words in the file name. There's no metadata to explain what the image is about. There's no alt tag to, again, give a good relevant explanation of what the image is. So retrieving that in the index, well, like compare that, like unknown image 123xz whatever and L-shaped office desk. Well, it would be easier to retrieve this one and return it on the search result. So it's very important to really take care of optimizing, as I said, the metadata, the file name, and the alt tag. So that's the first part of it.
Well, I was just going to say, in terms of file type, does the file type have to be AR specifically? Because AR is a file type as well, isn't it?
That's a good question. Yes, I'm going to get to the AR. So I was really explaining the image in general. All right. Now we'll talk about the when we go to the AR and the 3D modeling. Yes, the format of the image is important. So once you have your really nice high resolution image of your product, you need to turn it in a 3D model. Okay. And the format for that should be, and this is actually recommended by Google, it's GLB. Okay, so GLB is the format that you would use. And there's a lot of tools that can actually, you can create a 3D model with it. So you have some open source tools that you can use to create the 3D model. I have no relationship with these tools. I'm just sharing with them, like
Sure.
we're sharing them with you. It's like you have the Blender, which is an open source, easy to use, and you have SketchUp that you can use to create a 3D model of your product image. These are open source. If you go with the commercial, there's commercial tools. You have, I'm sure you heard about Maya, like Autodesk Maya, which is like, they specialize in this thing. So you make your image 3D image, and then you use the format GLB. And once you do that, you have to actually, Google recommends to use obviously a script. And the script is what we call model viewer. And this model viewer, when you take your URL of that image with the format GLB, and you add that model viewer script, you're telling Google that this is a 3D image. And that's kind of the format on a web page for 3D images to be read. It's going to be the GLB.
Wow.
So
I'll tell you,
for the 3D. Yeah.
it sounds, well, you've certainly shared a lot, but it sounds like you've still got an awful lot to share about augmented
Yes.
reality SEO. And I think we should perhaps park this conversation here, but hopefully we can continue this and actually have maybe a majestic webinar discussion panel specifically on
cool.
augmented reality SEO. That would be wonderful to have in the future. And hopefully we can get you back on for that.
Thank you. That would be great. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Well, first of all, before you wander off, you've shared what SEO should be doing in 2023. So now let's talk about what SEO shouldn't be doing. So what's something that's seductive in terms of time, but ultimately counterproductive? What's something that SEO shouldn't be doing in 2023?
Okay, that's a great question. Well, I'm sure you heard by now about different AI tools, like AI content tools that are supposed to help us out. And so right now, we obviously as an SEO, we need to publish a lot of content. And currently with all the different AI tools, we're spending, so they are supposed to help us, but we're spending a lot of time, creating this content with AI tools, but the content is not really optimized for human beings and for the SEO at the same time. So they are really kind of the tone is a little bit robotic, and it may not offer as much value as it should be when it's done by a human being. So we should not be spending time, trying to create those AI content in a way that it's not optimized for human beings, because at the end of the day, yes, we want our content to rank, but we want people to read the content because we want people to reshare the content, link to this content and so on. So I would say, yes, AI content tools are made for us to be more productive, but let's be careful about the way we're actually creating content using these tools to make it more productive and not counterproductive in a way.
Amel was a digital marketing consultant, and you can find her over at latmultilingual.com. Amel, thanks so much for adding your additional insight to SEO in 2023.
My pleasure. Take care.
I've been your host, David Bain, and you've been listening to SEO in 2023 Additional Insights, a majestic series that complements the original SEO in 2023 podcast, video series, and book. Find out more over at SEOin2023.com.